being good to you. Yes, as always, first be sure to hit that subscribe button while you're here so you always get notified when I'm live here on Hurrdat's YouTube, which is every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. A little bit late today, forgive me, had some technical difficulties. Yeah, so talk to me. How's y'all's week going? I hope it's been good to you. It's been busy week in the world of Housewives, the world of Bravo. We're going to talk all about it, starting with the Housewives of Salt Lake City. Not only are we going to talk about Tuesday night's episode, but we're going to talk about waking up today and seeing the ladies on the cover of Us Weekly and which TV show they were, channeling for that moment. Also, over for NextGen New York City, Ariana and Hudson have split, and I guarantee you nobody's more upset than Kim Zolciak. We'll talk about that. And we got some new updates regarding Wendy and, her job situation. So we'll talk about that as well. So yeah, come and hang out with me and let's chit chat. So up first, last night's Real Housewives of Salt Lake City I feel like Salt Lake is the only place that does this, and that they have entire episodes from one shoot, from one scene, from like one day. And they've done that before. I think it was last year. Oh, you remember the Bezos party? The entire premiere was at one event versus like going all over, checking in multiple times and going different places and lunch scenes and all that stuff. And last night, Tuesday night, was the same way. Whitney had this little like wine tasting type of event. And it's so funny when Housewives, when they film stuff, you can tell it's like a Tuesday afternoon at like 2 p.m. because this beautiful location, this restaurant, this bar, whatever it is, venue is dead ass empty, and so it's because production, they rent it out to go and like film and stuff, but saying all that to say, Whitney had an event. She flew in a psychic from New York City for the ladies to chat with, and the entire episode was based pretty much at this event. Okay. And they're just, these women are relentless on each other. Like, and poor Brittany, it'd be like catching strays all the time. But last night, one of the things that we were really watching a lot of was a continuation of Angie versus Lisa. And I'm like, have they ever hated each other more than they do right now? Because it's like, it just keeps going and keeps going. And someone made a good point. My friend who I was talking to, she said, she thought that maybe they could have moved on and squashed it after their last conversation. But then it was when Lisa went and did the whole pick up the product type of thing that, it reignited everything. And this week we see them go at it again. I don't even know what kicked it off this week. Like, Lisa and Angie hate each other so much. I can't even I can't navigate the hatred at this moment, and they're fighting about, like, they're continuing to accuse, like Lisa had accused Angie, saying, at least I don't need to borrow money to go on vacations, which is very weird because that is kind of like what is Lisa was apparently accused of in some of these lawsuits, was using funds that weren't hers, maybe that of the business or another man or something, allegedly, for non-business expenses. And it's just weird that she's throwing that out when it's like, we know that's what kind of is circulating the rumor circulating you. And I wanted so bad to see Mary go and chat with the psychic because, obviously we know Mary is, really cares a lot about her faith and stuff. And, I grew up Pentecostal holiness, and, I don't necessarily think that most people would have been lining up to go talk to a psychic. I would have and still would. But yeah, I wanted to see her chat with him, but we didn't get to see that because she's like, I'm gonna opt out. Well, she originally said she was going to opt out, and then her and Angie got into a fight and an argument. And now look, y'all know I love me some Mary. I love her, but it is not frustrating, but just like honestly upsetting to see that, whenever she gets upset or feels that a friend isn't really taking the stance that they need or doesn't necessarily respond in the way that she expects them to, Mary doesn't even let you know that she's upset. It's like, I don't even know that Mary has time to realize that she's upset, because she just goes from like taking in whatever it is that you say or do to saying like, I'm done with you. Like, I'm done with this. Like, I felt like her and Angie's like disagreement had just started, and Mary was like, I'm done with you and I'm on my way out. And you know, we've seen a lot of friendships, obviously some fake, some more real over the years. And I don't know, I really, really, really enjoy their friendship. I think they care a lot about each other. So watching this happen, I was like, no, like, you know, just sit down and talk it out, which I'm sure, of course they will. Like, this is Housewives, you know, conflict resolution. That is the name of the game. But yeah, and I think another reason it kind of made me sad for Angie was because she was already upset and in the trenches fighting with Lisa. And then before she can even wrap her head around that, then she goes and she pissed Mary off and Mary left, you know? So I was like, okay, it's not your day, Angie. We might just want to go home and call it a day, you know? But I did also want to say the psychic, I think they said his name was Terrence. I think that, like, we've seen a lot of psychics on the show, and on not this show specifically, but these shows over the years, you know? And like, think about like the Vicky Brooks cancer thing, how the women had the psychic around and he was like, oh, I don't know if I believe it. And then I've seen, like, we've had mediums on Beverly Hills before. But this one felt the most, I felt like what he was saying was not produced. I didn't feel like production was involved with the messages that he was sharing with the women. He did seem like he was actually gifted in that way, as far as like being able to communicate to the other side. You know, some people don't believe in that. I see no reason to not believe in it personally. But I just felt like he was the real deal, you know. And I've spoken here recently in recent weeks about how much I love Salt Lake, but I do feel like a really heavily like produced element to it these days, like where it's good, but I'm like, I think it could be good maybe without these extra little attempts to fluff it up with production, you know, like the RV trips and all that stuff. So I'm saying all that to say it is both surprising and, you know, pleasing to know that despite all the like heavy input that production has had, he felt incredibly authentic, you know. So yeah, wish that Mary would have chatted with him, but maybe he'll come back some other time and she can chat with him then. Let's see, what else are we going to talk about? Oh my God, Salt Lake City. Then we wake up today and our girls, our cover girls, our ladies are on the cover of Us Weekly. They do their reality star of the year celebration every year. And they did an article, a whole piece on the Salt Lake City ladies, breaking down why they're the best Bravo cast ever, not the only currently ever. And it's like, okay, well now somebody's probably gonna attack y'all at BravoCon for saying that. Those are fighting words. But yeah, you know, it's really a wonderful thing to celebrate them. You know, we all know that our Salt Lake girls are some of the newer ones on the block, and it's just so awesome to see this place that they've made for themselves in the Bravo sphere and the world of pop culture as a whole. And they did this amazing photo shoot. If you haven't seen it, you have to go look it up. They did an amazing photo shoot. And if you're like me and you love the Desperate Housewives series, the scripted series with Eva Longoria, Marsha Cross, you know, they channeled the Desperate Housewives Vanity Fair shoot from years ago. And if you're either gay or a Desperate Housewives girly / Bravo girly, this was for us. Okay. I don't know a better thing that could have came our way personally. Super, super awesome. I mean, if you follow Best of Bravo on Instagram, Maggie, she's one of my best friends, but she and I love Desperate Housewives. Like, we both randomly do rewatches throughout the year, and we'll randomly just text each other about what episodes we're watching. And so today I was like, the way that God loves us, like, for this to happen, like, me and God are good right now because of that. I know that we are. But yeah, and they also did these really cool, you know, they did like an interview with all of them, and then they did fun questions and stuff with them. I was gonna see, there was one where Lisa Barlow, they asked her about and losing out on the $60,000 ring, you know, and if she'd had it like insured, and she's like, no, most wealthy people don't insure their jewelry, and it's like, okay, good to know. And then she also said, what was it that she? Let me look it up. It was so funny. Hold on, because I want to make sure I get it right. Look, you got to laugh at her. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't not laugh at the lady. She's hysterical. Where did it go? Oh my God, if I can't find it, I'm going to die. Y'all, it was so funny. Hold on. No, I remember my friend who posted it to his stories. Now I'm going to go find it there. Isaac. There we go. Boom. She said, how has the show changed your life? This is what Us Weekly asked Lisa Barlow. She goes, the show has created a different friend group for me, a different exposure level for me. I mean, like, I could walk down Rodeo before and like I'd run into people I know from film, heads of studios, power agents. But like, this is different. It's like, I love Lisa, but why in the hell would she be running in and talking to heads of studios and power agents? Maybe she did, but it's like, name dropping was invented for Lisa Barlow, as far as I'm concerned. And speaking of name dropping, I dropped to the floor last night when Angie said, because Lisa asked Angie, she's like, do you know who my best friend is? And Angie sat on it for a second and she goes, Ben Affleck. And I'm sorry, but it's hilarious because Lisa loves to claim she's not going to name drop and then immediately drop them all, So I just thought that was so funny. And if you haven't checked that out, be sure to go look it up. Us Weekly's posted a lot about it on their Instagram. It's on their website. And it's a good celebration of our ladies. I'm really happy for them, Also, let's talk about Ariana Bierman. So y'all know that I loved me some NextGen NYC. I told y'all had to go watch it because it's like the best show to hit Bravo in a long time. And one of the reasons that I really liked it, I loved Ariana's the star, but her boyfriend Hudson was so sweet, and I loved them together, and I just felt like they were a very mature couple, and rooting for them. And they posted this week that they have decided to part ways, and so I have a lot to say about it because they were looking for an apartment for what felt like forever, and I feel like they just got one a couple months ago. So who's getting the apartment? And what are we going to do about that? You know what I'm saying? Because it was a struggle to get an apartment for two people. So now y'all each got to find your own. I'm worried for you. Number two, our cameras up because they need to be. Like, we have a breakup. This is our first breakup of the series. And if you'd have told me that it would be them, I was like, I don't want to. I wouldn't have wanted that. But let's get cameras up. And let's also get a mic on Kim Zolciak, because if y'all remember correctly, Mr. Hudson comes from cha-ching. His dad's like the CEO of Zaxby's or something like that. And so it's been a couple years of stress, some financial stress for Wig, and I know, sure as the world, ain't nobody feeling like the fallout from this breakup probably more than her, or thinking that they will feel the fallout of this breakup more than her, So Ariana, sending you good vibes for two reasons: because you break up, and number two, because I know that you also have to deal with your mom probably panicking on top of that, all right, let's see. What else do we got? Wendy. I was just saying this to my friend the other day too. I was like, normally when like we have a legal situation in Bravo, like someone gets arrested or whatever, not even in just Bravo, like in entertainment in general, it's like it comes out and then more things come out, like in the days after and the moments after, like, oh, there's an update here, or this also happened, or this footage leaked, or this witness came out and said this. And I feel like with Wendy, it all kind of just came out at once, and then there weren't really any updates. I was like, okay, nothing else is being shared. But then we did get a little update this weekend that she had apparently accepted a role at a university to teach like the sociology of reality TV or something. And it came out that she had been fired from that job. Now, to her credit, her team is like, no, Wendy, she resigned, I guess, probably once she got the charges because she knew what was going to come. And so I believe that, like before they said that, I believed that she was probably let go because what we heard. But for her to come out and say like, no, like I resigned, like she wouldn't say that if it could be easily proven wrong, I think. So I do believe that she probably decided to walk, and honestly, it's kind of even more unfortunate because was it very public that she was teaching here yet? Like it was her first job when we met her, because I'm like, she could have just slid right in and out of that without anybody knowing, which maybe that's what her plan was. Like, I'm just going to go ahead and resign. I have it's not announced yet that I'm working here, whatever. And then it came out anyway. So we'll see, but that's only updates we have as far as that goes. Happy Eddie being potentially fraudulent Eddie. I'm still, I know that it doesn't look good. I will hold out hope till the end that it's a big, in the words of Andy, I think he called it a big nothing, and I don't know about a big nothing, but I hope it's at least a little bit of a misunderstanding, So we'll see. All right. I'm going to wrap up. Nana said, hello from Belgium. Woo! Hello. Mary said, hi, Christian. Hi, Mary. Mary, where are you watching from? Esco. It's been 6 seasons and Whitney's never going to heal. Listen, that's why it's called a healing journey. She didn't call it the healing endpoint. She said it's a journey. Okay. So, and we're along for the ride. All right. And that ride takes them to the cover of Us Weekly. And that's why we're happy for them, All right, everybody. Well, I'm going to start to wrap up. We have one more live this week on Friday. So make sure you meet me right back here at 3 p.m. Eastern. And yeah, we have the Miami. Oh my God, Miami, the whole season wraps up tomorrow, y'all. It's the last part of the reunion. And yeah, maybe that, I feel like we're going to get a Beverly Hills announcement really soon. So they're usually a Tuesday show, but we got Miami leaving Thursdays. So Salt Lake is Tuesdays. Will they have Salt Lake and Beverly Hills on at the same time? Because if so, our Tuesdays are about to be booked, but we'll see. Start polishing off those diamonds, girls, because I think they're coming soon.